Reality check, man, from a your device, you know, say aromatic realistic TV. Anyway, people, today, without any further ado, we want to take a look in the salary increase that the Prime Minister threw out on the taxpayers of Jamaica. In other words, the Prime Minister hijacked the taxpayers of Jamaica. And I want to take a look at this from all different angles to see where this could justify. I mean, I see no justification about this. It can't justify. And the reason why I go say that, I'm going to put myself in a position, and you also can put yourself in a position too as the viewers. And you could say, if you go and try to look a job, and the manager of that establishment telling you that they only can pay $500. And, you know, maybe 6 months down the line or a year down the line, then we'll do some evaluation on you. And, you know, if you are matching up to company criteria and all those things, then they will give you a raise. But at the same time, you know, that person never put a gun to your head or a knife to your throat and tell us that you have to take that job. You do it out of free will. Because you did not have to take that job, right? But anyway, you take that job. So whatever consequence come with that job, then you have to live with it. Because remember, you take that job through free will. Nobody never put a gun to your head. Nobody never put a knife on your throat. It's the same thing to the politician. When the politicians sign up to become a politician, you know, they know what to expect. See, they know what to expect. The salary, what you're going to get and all of that. You see what I mean? So, for the Prime Minister, just come hold the country hostage and tell the country that we have to pay out some 300% in pay increase and some 250% and some 100 and odd percent in pay increase. You can't go there and show that kind of stigma for any corporation. It's okay, you know, for free speech. You can always sit with an owner or a CEO and tell them, boy, that you need a pay raise. But if them no feel like to give you no raise, them not give you no raise. You see what I mean? So, if the politicians are complaining that they are overworked and they are not being compensated, then why you don't leave the job? Because remember, this is a voluntary job, you know, that you volunteer to take up this job, to do this job. And we all want the best for ourselves. So if you find yourself in a situation where you are not getting paid for what you really worth or what you value, then why you don't walk away from that organization? Because if you claim that you are so highly educated, it shouldn't be no problem for you to get a job in the private sector out there. Because there and then you will get paid for what you worth. But for you to stay in government and trying to give yourself this increase, this is not justifying anything. Because I would simply say to you, if this job is not paying you according to you, right? Then why don't you resign? The easiest thing for you then would to resign and move on to another job that is going to compensate you for what you really worth. But it's kind of mind-bothering, it's troubling, and it's puzzling me at times to see these same people who are complaining that the government job that they have is not paying them what they're really worth. And at the same time, these same people would do everything to keep them in power. So if this job is not paying you well, if this job is not paying you according to you what you really deserve, then why you would do everything in this world to hold on to power, to remain in this job? I want somebody to explain this to me, because I don't know if I'm dumb where this is regard. Because if you are not getting paid for what you really worth, and then you are doing everything on the other hand to keep yourself into this position or to keep yourself into this job, it's not adding up. It's not adding up. It's not making any sense. It's not making any sense, because when you're looking up at all the things that this government is doing, but yet still in send out all these things on social media, painting this beautiful picture like this organization and this administration is doing everything in behalf of the Jamaican people to make their life good. And it's not so. You understand? It's not so. And people are saying they deserve a raise. No, you don't deserve a raise. I have a problem with that. Raise come with performance. In any institution that you go, you will get a raise according to your performance. If you are not performing good, or you expect me to just throw out money upon you so and you are not performing, it simply means you are costing the government more, because you not perform. And it's clear to see. Harris Chang, the Minister of National Security, his disapproval ratings from the Jamaican people is in the 90s. And the Prime Minister still have him there, in spite crime and violence is destroying Jamaica. The Prime Minister still have him there. That's not performance. The Commissioner of Police is there, who the citizen of Jamaica disapproval rating of that man in the high 90s, and the Prime Minister of Jamaica still have him there. That's not performance. So all you want we to pay these people 300 and 200%? The Prime Minister of Jamaica promised the people of Jamaica that he would make them sleep with them door open again. It's gonna be a law and order administration. And he's yet to fulfill those promises. So why should we give the Prime Minister a 250 increase on his salary when they are not performing? People get paid according to performance. So I kind of find it strange and ironic why the government want to compensate themselves when they are not performing. It is simple. And I will say this again, because I want even the baby to understand what I'm talking about. I want good for myself. I know you who are watching want good for yourself. So if you find yourself in a situation and you claim that your job is not paying you what you really worth, then why are you still in that job? And if the job is not paying you what you really worth, why every 5 years or every 4 years you would do everything into this world to get re-elected? Please explain to me so I can understand. Explain to me so I can understand. Explain to the viewers so they can understand. I worth $1 million and the government is paying me 200,000. And I know that I'm value. I worth more than 200,000 based on the job that I'm doing. Then why I still sit in that job? knowing that nobody does not hold a gun to my head or a knife to my throat and force me to stay in this job. And again, if that's the case, why every 4 or 5 years you guys would do everything to keep yourself in power in spite your claim that you guys are not getting paid for what you worth. So it is telling me, if you guys remain in that job, you don't mean yourself any good. Because I did not say that. You say you are not getting paid for what you worth. And every single human being on this planet at all times want the best for themselves. And if you are not getting the best, then you're gonna walk away. But instead, these people walk away. They anchor down and they do everything to stay in powers. And then you come out and you say, the system is not treating me right. And nobody is holding you. Nobody is forcing you. Nobody hold a gun to your head. Nobody hold a knife to your throat and say, stay in a government. The choice is yours. The choice is yours. Okay? So I'm just trying to get the justification. I'm just trying. Because there is no way this is making sense to me. There is no way this is making sense. You hold the country, you hold taxpayers hostage to pay you 300, 250, 100 and something percent. When you guys are not performing. Why should I get a pay raise when the jobs right? The jobs that I require to do, I fail to do so. The job that I require to do to perform on a daily basis, I fail to do so. And then me go and walk in a manager office and say, yo boss, you know, some want a 300% pay raise. When you are not bringing any value to this institution. Check most of these ministers along with the prime minister, leader of the opposition, they are not bringing no values to the Jamaican people. So if you are not bringing value to us, why should we give you a pay raise? You don't deserve a pay raise. You guys don't deserve a pay raise. And you hijack the country, Prime Minister Andrew Holness and Nigel Clark, hold the Jamaican taxpayers at hostage with this 300 and 250 and 100 and odd dollars percentage and salary hike. You see what I mean? Then it's a Tom junk but Tom no fool. You can fool some of the people sometimes, but you cannot fool all the people all the time, brother. I just want this to make sense. I want the best for myself. The viewers who are watching this content need the best for themselves. And if you find yourself in a situation and you know, listen me man, I work more than this, man. I work more than this. I'm valued more than this. And somebody want to give you less. What are you gonna do? I'm asking the question. Would you stay in that situation or would you walk away and go and look something different? Another job that value your service and pay you for what you actually worth. Eh? Come on, man. Talk to me better than that, man. This now make no sense, man. It's a Tom joke, man, but Tom the fool, man. Make it make some sense, man. Make it make some sense. The job cheap, underpay. You understand? And yet still, you would do everything to remain in power. Why? And the job not good. Something not right. Something not right. Because if something not good enough, me I lego that, run away from that. If something not good, me I run away from that. Because me no want nothing to hold me down in a life. Me I run away from that and go look better over here, so. Because everybody deserve better in life. Allow me I tell. That's I think, set man. Anyway, stay tuned to Aromatic Realistic TV. Follow me over YouTube. Like and share. Help if you spread the message. Saying, Jamaican, live good. God and good road. I'm out.